This morning, I woke to 67 missed calls, each one clawing at a part of me I thought I'd long buried. Numbers I once knew by heart, numbers I had memorized like hymns in childhood, only to erase them from my life without hesitation. The first was from my mother, the last was from my sister. 12 years, not a word, not a breath. And now, suddenly, they were all trying to speak at once as if the past had finally found a voice. And it was mine. I was 14 when they left me. It was supposed to be a family hike, some desperate attempt at bonding that already felt brittle. Before we even reached the trailhead, Gray Rock Peak jagged, relentless, coiled with switchbacks that carved through silence and thin air. 2 hours in, someone suggested we split up, said we'd meet again by the lake. I bent down to tighten the laces on my boot, just for a second. When I looked up, they were gone. At first, I laughed. I thought it was a joke. I even called out, playful, but then I heard the sharp crack of my sister's giggle from behind a boulder, and the words that turned something soft inside me. To Ash, let's see if she can get out on her own. That was the last thing I ever heard her say. I waited. 2 hours. My voice turned raw from shouting their names. No footsteps, no answers. Just the wind threading through the pines and a slow, cold understanding crawling up my spine. I wasn't lost. I'd been abandoned. It took 3 days to crawl out of those woods. One cracked ankle, skin sunburned and blistered, mouth bone dry, my body hollow with hunger. But I made it. I stumbled barefoot into a ranger station at dusk, silent and grim-eyed. I didn't give them my name. I didn't want to be found. Something inside me had already sealed itself shut, not broken like a bone or branch, but closed with finality. Like a door bolted from the inside, the authorities filed a report. Said it was a teenager's tantrum, a dramatic exit after a family spat. Case closed, no charges, no further questions. And just like that, they went on with their lives. So did I. But not the way they expected. I disappeared, changed my name, lived off-grid, took quiet jobs, nothing flashy, nothing traceable. Survival became my rhythm, discipline my faith, and slowly, it shifted from endurance to intention. I taught myself how to watch without being seen, learned to slip through databases, track patterns, trace people's lives through the footprints they didn't realize they were leaving. I knew when my mother remarried. I knew when my father's liver gave out. I knew my sister became a therapist. Ironic, considering her last act of care was leaving a child alone on a mountain to see what would happen. I studied their lives like a hunter learning migration. No contact, no interference, just silent observation, until I saw it. A property listing, a family cabin, same coordinates, same cursed trail. They were going back. Bought the place like nothing had ever happened, like my blood didn't still stain the earth there. That was the moment I stopped hoping for an apology. That was when I truly knew they never regretted it. Not once. So I stopped waiting. I bought the land next to theirs under a shell company. Quiet, unassuming. Built a cabin, near identical in structure, positioned 1 mile away, same altitude, same view. I installed hidden cameras on the trail, motion sensors, facial recognition, audio mix. I didn't just want to see them. I wanted to hear every word. For months, I watched them move through the woods like ghosts, laughing, roasting marshmallows, skimming stones across the lake as if time hadn't rotted something beneath their feet, living their picturesque lives untouched by the truth. Last week, I left the note. No name, no threat, just a single sentence scrawled in familiar handwriting. What would you do if she came back? I watched from the feed, saw my mother's face blanch, my sister halt mid-step as if the words themselves struck her. You see, the past doesn't need to knock. It seeps in quiet, insistent through the cracks they pretend don't exist. Then the calls began. Every number I'd ever used, every email, every professional alias I'd once touched. They even tried reaching me through lawyers. I said nothing. Let the panic simmer. Let the silence speak. This morning, I woke early, laced up my boots, the same brand I wore that day, and climbed the trail. The same trail, same cruel switchbacks. But this time, I didn't carry fear or hope. I carried something far heavier and far more righteous. When I reached their porch, the air felt still, thick with something unsaid. The door opened. My sister stood there, older now, her sharp edges dulled by time or guilt, I couldn't tell. Which she whispered my name like it was a prayer. But I didn't go inside. I didn't embrace her. I handed her the envelope. Inside were copies of everything. The original Ranger report with their statements conflicting, full of holes. A signed affidavit from a camper who remembered the laughter that echoed too long. An audio file I'd recovered from an old backup, a recording, faint but undeniable, of her voice saying those words. Let's see if she can get out on her own. 12 years. They had 12 years to make it right. And they chose silence, chose comfort, chose the erasure of a child. So I let them face the truth in print, in sound, in cold, immutable fact. The press will have a field day. The therapist who left her sister to die. The mother who rewrote the truth. The family that abandoned a daughter and buried her story with convenience. Let them tell their version now, see how well it holds under light. I didn't yell, I didn't curse. I looked at them, really looked, and said only this isn't revenge, it's recognition. You buried me, now watch who I've become. Then I turned and walked away. Same path, different purpose. My steps steady, deliberate. This time, I wasn't surviving. I was reclaiming. People romanticize survival, call it a miracle. But it's not, it's a decision. A vow, a refusal to let their silence be the final word. I didn't return for forgiveness. I didn't return to make peace. I came back to rewrite the ending. And now, they'll never forget me, not for the pain they caused, but for the woman who rose from it.